Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com, coming to you with a look at some Friday night lights in college football here. North Carolina takes on Wake Forest with Friday night ACC action. Over at BangTheBook.com, we've got you prepared for Week 3 of the college football season. My college football power ratings posted over there, as well as some college football Week 3 situational betting angles. We'll have NFL stuff throughout the week from Danny Vorgs. A good start to his power ratings piece in Week 1. WNBA playoffs are this week. We've got coverage of that over at the website. Soccer, tennis, NASCAR playoffs start this weekend as well. We'll have coverage of that. We got a lot of stuff going on over at BangTheBook.com. Very busy time of year, but we have you fully covered over there for anything that comes your way in the sports betting world. All right, so we take a look here at the first game of Week 3. Once again, North Carolina and Wake Forest, game 103-104. Wake Forest, a 3-point favorite. Total of 67 here on this game. And you know what? I will tell you right off the top, I think this is a tough handicap. How legit are the North Carolina Tar Heels? 2 big wins so far. They are 2-0, looking to get into some rare territory here as a team to go 3-0 and win all 3 games as an outright underdog. I think it's only happened 5 or 6 times here in recent memory. So they're trying to do something really special, but that's the question about this team. The win over South Carolina, we come to find out Jake Bentley had a broken foot throughout the fourth quarter in that one, threw a couple of back-breaking picks. And then in Week 2, Miami, they outgained North Carolina by 100 yards in that game, but North Carolina still came away with the victory in that one, although they did blow a 17-3 lead after the first quarter. So North Carolina did not make it easy on themselves. But look, you don't want to take too much away from the Tar Heels for what could be some misleading wins. In that South Carolina game, Jake Bentley started throwing picks, but the Tar Heels had touchdown drives of 98 and 95 yards with a true freshman quarterback to come from behind and win that game. Last week, they made the plays they needed to. They converted a 4th and 17 to get that go-ahead touchdown. Did avoid a Miami missed field goal at the end that would have tied the game, but still, they don't ask how, they ask how many. And for North Carolina here so far this season, they are 2-0. Now, Wake Forest, on the other hand, they beat Utah State in a very back-and-forth game, but that was a game where Wake Forest gave up almost 600 yards of offense. They just wound up having the ball for about 36 minutes of that game, eked out a 38-35 victory. They were +2 in turnover margin in that game as well. Week 2, they take on Rice. Rice, not a very good team, despite what they did in Week 1 against Army. Wake Forest wins that game by 20. For those that got a bad number on Wake Forest, an unfortunate push there for you with that late Rice touchdown. But as we go into this game this week, I don't know who these two teams are. Is North Carolina legit? Maybe. Is Jay Bateman improving that defense? Now, it's tough to say that here so far. They did give up over 300 passing yards to Jaron Williams last week in just his second college football start. On the other hand, Sam Howell playing very, very well as a true freshman. Now, on the Wake Forest side, Jamie Newman's been very good. He's put up some huge numbers in the first 2 weeks of the season, but this Dave Clawson defense has not played all that well. And really last year, Wake Forest struggling a little bit, regressing some on the defensive side also. Now, this total is moving up a little bit from 66 to 67. I do agree with the line move on the total here, at least on the surface. I would think both teams do move the football. However, these two teams, Wake Forest is about 39th in yards per play on offense. North Carolina 46th in yards per play on offense. So while these teams have had some decent offensive performances here so far, have put up some yardage in the passing game, we're not seeing a ton of explosive plays from these two teams. You've got to think this North Carolina defense does improve as the season goes along. Jay Bateman from Army was a fantastic hire. North Carolina does recruit a little bit better. They recruited very well during the Larry Fedora years. He just wasn't able to maximize the talent that he had. Dave Clawson, on the other hand, doesn't get great talent, but maximizes what he does have to work with. So a lot of stuff going on here with this game. Here's my thought. My power ratings number on this game is Wake Forest -1. However, the first true road start for Sam Howell in a little bit of a short week for the Tar Heels. So I do lean with Wake Forest in this game. What I may end up doing here is waiting for this total to keep going up and possibly play back on the under. Now, North Carolina is playing at a much quicker tempo than we saw last year. So that's a very important thing for them, and one of the reasons why this total is on the rise. Wake Forest does play a little bit slower, a little bit more of a ball control type of offensive team. If they're able to have that success, then this game probably does come in a little bit under the total. So I may wait and see when this total peaks, quite possibly play back on the under here, but I think ultimately this is one of those games where we find out a lot about both of these teams, in particular as the conference play season goes along. So if this total gets up in the 69.5 or 70 range, may come in on the under for this one. For right now, it's a small lean towards Wake Forest in Friday night's ACC battle between the Tar Heels and the Demon Deacons. I'm Adam Burke for BangTheBook.com.